Welcome to New Light Living Podcast. I'm Ulrika Sullivan. I'm an intuitive spiritual life coach and a galactic astrologer. This video is a galactic astrology reading of the Taurus new moon at 25 degrees 57 minutes on May 16th, 2026. Welcome. What I do in these videos, I put an outer layer of fixed stars, celestial bodies, and galactic points to the traditional Western tropical astrology wheel. And that is to help us expand into a multidimensional perspective of our collective energies, but also our personal soul journey. First of all, I want to highlight and celebrate that I have been doing these videos now for 3 years. I started in 2023 doing these videos, and it started with the Taurus new moon in May. Yay to that! Thank you for being here. I know many of you have been here for a long time, and I'm so grateful for everyone who's showing up here on this channel, liking, subscribing, and hyping this video and other videos that I'm creating here. And also, I want to say thank you to all the channel members who are part of the membership here on this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your commitment and support that your membership is making to this channel. Thank you. What you'll receive in this video are 3 energetic themes that I've pulled out from the new moon chart. And also at the end, you'll receive 3 questions should you want to integrate this new moon in Taurus energy some more. Taurus new moon at 25 degrees is conjunct Perseus constellation and the fixed star Algol at 26 degrees of Taurus. And also the dwarf planet Ceres is conjunct this Taurus new moon. A very interesting combination that we are going to take a look at in energetic theme 1 coming up. The ruler of this new moon is Venus, and Venus is now at 27 degrees of Gemini, conjunct the Orion constellation and the fixed Scythe at 26 degrees of Gemini. And also, Venus is also in opposition with the galactic center at 27 degrees of Sagittarius. I also have a new limited time special reading that I'm offering in the month of May. This special reading is focusing on how the Stargate falls in your chart, but also what this blue moon theme in May and what it means for you. There's a link in the pinned comment and description box below. This Taurus new moon video I've named Inner Abundance Integration. And that is what I sense about this new moon, that we are in a phase now where we are connecting with the unique parts of ourselves within and integrate the meaning of that into our purpose. This Taurus new moon conjunct Perseus-Algol is a critical integration point because we now have a highlight on a new beginning where we can see our inner essence in a new perspective. And what I mean with that is that many times when we have Perseus-Algol activated in the chart, such as a new moon here this time, is a opportunity to go deeper with trusting our own unique soul essence and our own unique soul expression. And this can only be expressed through being in contact with our innermost self. At this Taurus new moon, we're exploring our authentic self-expression even deeper because this new moon conjunct Algol often speaks to the process of moving from being driven from the mind to being open-hearted and trusting our heart frequency and intuition. And that is the highlight of this new moon, where we are pursuing not only our soul essence and going deeper with understanding the unique expression that we all have. It's so easy to fall into conformity because it does not apply our internal courage to express ourselves just the way we are. But at this Taurus new moon, we have a signature of abundance with the conjunction to Ceres here It's about inner abundance and how we are bringing ourselves further out into our authentic self-expression. And this is also in light of that we are in a process of listening and getting to know our innermost qualities. And this new moon is a prime time to understand more about what is unique about me and how I express my energy out in the world. And that might be a question you want to ask yourself. What is it about me that is unique? And it may be something that comes up that you haven't even connected with yet. Just by asking that question and contemplate it a little bit, you may be coming in contact with unique talents and gifts that you are bringing uniquely here through your soul expression. So this Taurus new moon is quite visionary in one sense, but it's also very grounded with a new moon in Taurus, an earth sign, which is asking us to step closer to embodying that unique self-expression to a greater extent. And at this new moon, we also have an opportunity to look at things within ourselves that we may not feel are as comfortable to look at sometimes. But now it's a prime time to integrate our shadow aspects with our light aspects, because our unique expression includes both. And ultimately, inner abundance is about fulfillment and feeling that we are the same person on the inside as we are and express ourselves on the outside. Inner abundance comes with a sense of peace, of inner peace. And this new moon in Taurus is an opportunity to connect more with that inner peace, to realize that we are creative beings. We are meant to step out of the norms that society is averaging out for us. We are meant to be our unique expression, and how to get there is a journey in itself. And we're going to talk more about that in energetic theme 2 and 3. So at this Taurus new moon, we have a energy of alchemization, a transmutation of lower frequencies to higher frequencies. But we have also this beautiful connection with our inner soul essence, which is the most innocent part of ourselves. We are also tapping into the universal truth that life is a beautiful creation and ever evolving. Before we review the new moon chart, I'd like to share what the energetic themes are. The first theme is inner abundance integration. And here we're going to talk about the new moon, of course, conjunct Ceres, and also Perseus-Algol and asteroid Chericlo. The second theme is realize your potential. And here we're going to talk about Chiron and Andromeda galaxy and Orion's Scythe. The third energetic theme is messages of awakening. And here we're going to talk about the rare conjunction between dwarf planets Sedna and Uranus. Also the upcoming conjunction adding the sun to the equation, and all of that conjunct the Pleiades. So this is going to be an exciting exploration about this rare conjunction. And also the members only video will be exploring the May 22nd chart in depth. So look forward to that. All right, let's take a look at the Taurus new moon chart next. So here we have the new moon chart. And as you can see, new moon together there in Taurus at 25 degrees, 58 minutes. I think I said 57 before, but it's 58 minutes in this chart. Conjunct Perseus-Algol at 26 degrees of Taurus. And I also have highlighted here Venus, who is ahead of this new moon in the next sign of Gemini at 27 degrees, conjunct Orion's Scythe at 26 degrees of Gemini. So this is the setup for this new moon. We have a new moon and a chart that is a mix between early degrees and late degrees. So we have only Saturn in the second decan, Everything else is either in the first 10 degrees of a sign or in the last 10 degrees of the sign. If you're not familiar with the decans, the first decan is related to the physical realm and the body. And the second decan between 10 and 19 degrees of a sign is linked into the mental body. And the third decan then is linked into the spiritual realm or spiritual body. So that's sometimes how we can see what type of energy overall is present. And at this new moon, we definitely have a mix between embodiment, early degrees, and spiritual consciousness, late degrees. And only Saturn is at 10 degrees there in Aries, which is also a guide that Saturn may be in for giving us some lessons to work with here during this Taurus new moon from the mental body perspective. And the opportunity here overall is we are offered a different or new perspective on something in our life. So here we have Perseus-Algol, and we have talked about Perseus-Algol at length in our videos here in the past. And here we get another go around with Perseus-Algol here at this new moon. And if you're not familiar with Perseus-Algol, the energy associated with Algol is the third eye of Medusa's head. And as you can see, Perseus here, he's chopping the head of, and this may be interpreted as the path to trusting our intuition, which is how I interpret this myth in essence. And the collective path, the collective ascension process is very much to go from trusting our mental domain to our intuitive body, which is connected to the universe. And this myth around Medusa is very much part of that path. Algol is also associated with coming into greater clarity. And at this Taurus new moon, it feels like we are coming into more clarity about things that may have held us back or not feeling as clear to us in the past, perhaps from a shadow perspective. But now we also have the opportunity to bring more clarity to our overall situation in whatever that may mean in our life and come into more wholeness and integration for greater fulfillment and inner abundance in life. So there's no coincidence here that Perseus-Algol is so highlighted here. And we also have Algol conjunct Ceres at this new moon, which we'll be talking about in a second here in the first energetic theme. So yes, this Taurus new moon is very much an abundance flavored new moon that invites us to see our life as a beautiful creation. And inner abundance is very much this perspective of fulfillment. And this is what we're going to explore in this video in the first energetic theme, inner abundance integration, next. So here we have the first energetic theme that I've called inner abundance integration. And the new moon here, conjunct Perseus-Algol, is in square with the asteroid Chariklo at 26 degrees of Aquarius. And this is an important square that we're going to examine a little bit further. And also we have Chariklo in opposition with Hydra Alphard at 26 degrees of Leo. So this T-square is an important guidance for us at this new moon because of the way we would like to approach this integration of abundance at this time. So we're going to examine that and dive into that a little bit more next. But we also have interaction with Chariklo and the ruler of this new moon, Venus there, conjunct Orion's Scythe at 27 degrees of Gemini. And we also have a trine to Boots Actress at 24 degrees of Libra. This forms a grand air trine with Chariklo there in supporting the movement of communication within ourselves. And Venus and Chericlo here are guiding us on how we can integrate this square between the new moon and Hydra and Chericlo. So let's explore that a little further. If we start here first with Venus, the ruler of this new moon, conjunct Orion Scythe, in opposition with the galactic center at 27 degrees of Sagittarius. This is an important energy signature of transmutation of parts of our shadow that now is ready to be integrated. And this Orion Scythe conjunction to Venus is a very gentle way, receptive way of transmuting lower frequency, because part of our shadow may be difficult and not so comfortable to visit. But Venus influence here in conjunction with Orion Scythe and also the opposition to the galactic center makes this a expansion of perspective and receptive energy. So more of a listening exercise or listening opportunity at this new moon to receive a higher perspective of something that we feel are not serving us. And lower frequencies, you can view that as places in your life where you put yourself in a victim role, where we identify where those shadows are that now are up for integration. We can identify situations or within relationships where we still put ourselves in a victim position. That might be something that we are now invited to look at and also bring in a higher frequency, a non-victim position. And how we can do that is the path to inner abundance. As an example, as you can see here, we have quite a pattern of two kites, at least in this chart, between Hydra Alphard and Chericlo there in opposition, and Venus in the galactic center. And then if we add Boots Actress, it becomes that grand air trine. So it's a very fire and air type of energy here that is supporting this gentle integration. There will be courage involved, which is the fire element, and there is communication involved, which is the air element. And in the third energetic theme, we're going to add the third kite here, which is linked into Mars conjunct Chiron, but that will be later in this video. The way I interpret this is that it's a very favorable time now to seek integration, seek a higher perspective of something that now is ready to rise above. And Venus's conjunction to Orion Scythe is important. Orion Scythe is a natural transmuter of lower frequencies. So if you have a galactic alignment in your birth chart to Orion Scythe, either through a conjunction or an opposition, it may also give you a clue that you are a natural transmuter of lower frequencies in relationships, for example. And what that means is that you bring in the light to the relationship or the conversation or the interaction. And that might be an innate talent and gift of yours that your soul essence is bringing here. And again, that's just an example. And here we have a combination of energies, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Chericlo particularly, because I keep an eye on all the energies in Aquarius, because it's often a way showing energy. And we've talked about Chericlo before, but now when Chericlo is such a activated in the chart, I'd like to dive a little deeper with Chericlo here. And Ceres also, not to forget about Ceres conjunct the new moon, is bringing in that beautiful harvest-like abundance, that there is something here that we have worked so hard for that is now coming into fruition. And also I have highlighted Alphard here at 26 degrees of Leo. And Alphard, we've also talked a lot about, so we're not going to talk Hydra Alphard there, in opposition with Chericlo. And if you recall, Hydra Alphard is very much linked into Kundalini energy, pure life force. In Leo, it's very much the courage and fire that it takes to look at our shadows to integrate them. And Cherry here is the one that gives us the most guidance actually at this new moon, because that means that there is a growth opportunity for us here to consider. Cherry is the wife of Chiron, and Chiron has this journey to it, a healing journey from pain to potential. Cherry is the feminine version of Chiron. Cherry is encouraging us to set boundaries, but be in a receptive state, holding space for insights to come up, and see our shadow with more compassion. Cherry encouraging us to slow down and be more receptive. Cherry is guiding us to stay centered as we are navigating this exploration of our shadow for integration, but also in a compassionate way. So she is quite a quiet energy, receptive energy, and is encouraging us to turn our pain into wisdom. And she's holding space for sustainable transformation in a very gentle way. So that is what we can take for guidance here through that square between the new moon and Cherry between the sign of Taurus and the sign of Aquarius. Yes, this inner abundance integration that we are in the process of during this Taurus new moon is a gentle, quiet, receptive energy supported by this air grand trine with Venus in charge of this new moon, but also Booth's actress, which brings in the evolutionary energy that comes with this, that is ensuring that our future needs are met. We also have Hydra Alphard that brings the courage and the fire into this Taurus new moon, and helping that balance between receptivity that Cherry in Aquarius is suggesting to us, but also that we are not backing off, but rather sit in the rather uncomfortable realizations sometimes, but that we can be gentle with ourselves, because the new moon conjunct Ceres and Perseus-Algol is suggesting to us too that we are here now to go deeper with trusting our intuition and connecting with our inner soul essence and inner abundance. All right, are you ready for the second energetic theme, which is realize your potential next? So here we have the second theme that I've called realize your potential. And here we're going to start with Mars conjunct Chiron there. Chiron is the other counterpart to Cherry. So let's talk about Chiron, because Chiron is now very much highlighted by Mars in conjunction at 28 degrees of Aries, conjunct the Andromeda galaxy M31 that we talked about in, I think, 2 videos ago. So as part of this combination of energies, the Andromeda galaxy, Mars and Chiron in conjunction, we have a momentum to go beyond what we think is possible, a multidimensional experience that is now gaining momentum. And this is part of our ascension process, but also our individual healing process. And in Aries here, it's definitely about ourselves. So that's the focus for this energetic theme too. Realize your potential. And this combo here, Mars, Chiron, Andromeda galaxy, is receiving a sextile from the ruler Venus there in Gemini and Orion Scythe. So there is a very strong support. A sextile often is an external support. We can call it that Venus conjunct Orion Scythe here is the divine feminine guidance for Mars and Chiron there, and conjunct the Andromeda galaxy. So this is an invitation for us to balance the action with the receptivity. And this serves us very well at this new moon because of the momentum from Mars and Chiron there, and the receptive guidance from Venus. We also have a square aspect to Canis Minor Procyon at 26 degrees of Cancer here from Mars and Chiron and Andromeda Galaxy. And that square is that inner growth opportunity for our individual soul journey that is presenting to us now. So at this new moon, we are not engaging Jupiter in this square, but Jupiter will be at 26 degrees of Cancer, June 11th to 15th. So that's really when this integration will expand, because that momentum is building now at this Taurus new moon, but Jupiter's conjunction with Procyon in mid-June here is really going to be where the inner expansion is taking place. Cancer is the intuitive, emotional parts of ourselves that Jupiter has been working so diligently with for quite a while here. And Procyon in conjunction with Jupiter is also where we see that new opportunity, that new perspective, because Procyon is very innovative energy in that sense. So it may take almost up to another month until we will actually realize that inner expansion, that fulfillment that this new moon is offering to us. But there is more. We also have an opposition from Mars and Chiron and Andromeda Galaxy to Boots Izar here at 28 degrees of Libra. And Boots Izar is a very interesting energy because it's linked into the dragon, very dragon-esque energy that has a lot of power and wisdom to it. This opposition between Mars, Chiron, Andromeda Galaxy, and Boots Izar here is a beautiful combination to gain momentum of something that has not been considered before. That dragon energy is associated also with transmutation. We have a kite here between Venus, Mars, Chiron, and Chariklo. This is also suggesting integration from an abundance perspective, because all of that dragon energy is going to transmute anything that is not serving us anymore. So I see that interaction between Chariklo, Mars, Chiron, and Venus and Boots Izar as highly abundant. And Chiron's role is significant here. This conjunction between Mars and Chiron is not a coincidence, because our journey to healing from pain to potential in Chiron's case is really fueled here to reach the next level. And what I mean with the next level is that we stop running from our wounds and sit down, like Chariklo is suggesting, with a gentle touch, to allow our integration of that shadow and gaining a higher perspective of it is what we are invited to consider at this new moon. What Chiron conjunct Mars facilitate too, and with Andromeda Galaxy in the mix here, is that it's not just about ourselves anymore. It is to turn our personal wounds into something that serves the whole, serves others as well. So this is the higher perspective of this kite, that we are in the process of transforming our focus from being focused on ourselves and running from our wounds into serving the whole, shifting from a victim narrative into a wholeness and inner abundance, and sharing that inner abundance with others narrative. So here we have Izar, Boots Izar, and I brought in a rainbow dragon here as well, because it is such a transmutational energy associated with Boots Izar there. So tune into that and see where you have 28 degrees of Libra in your chart. And if you have any galactic alignments to Boots Izar particularly, you may have that dragon energy at your disposal as a gift. And here we have Procyon that we've talked about before, and the powerful blue ray innovative energy that Procyon comes with, and Jupiter's conjunction with Procyon later in June here is going to be a powerful, innovative high frequency event. So at this Taurus new moon, we're also tapping into our highest potential in some way. What is your potential in this life? There are many perceived limitations that we are placing on ourselves. But at this Taurus new moon, we're tapping into something momentous because of that dragon energy and also the Kundalini energy with Hydra Alphard activated. There is something here that is ready to be transmuted and is also serving other people, other souls that you may not have considered yet. So your potential is really here to also not only serve yourself, but others. And I think that's the message here too from the highlight from Cherry Clo and Chiron at this Taurus new moon. All right, are you ready for the third energetic theme? Messages of awakening next. Here we have the third energetic theme, messages of awakening. And May, month of May, is a very powerful month energetically. We will have a very rare conjunction between Sun, Uranus, and Sedna, all of that conjunct the Pleiades on May 22nd. At this Taurus new moon on May 16th, we only have Uranus at 1 degree 11 minutes and Sedna at 1 degree 32 minutes of Gemini. And the Sun, of course, is at 25 so far, 25 Taurus. But in a few days, on May 22nd, we will have the Sun conjuncting all of that as well. And the chart for May 22nd, you'll see here. And this is a very interesting chart. I always get curious when we have a rare conjunction like this. And we are going to dive deep in this full chart in the members only video that I called Awakening to Your Cosmic Self. So hop on the membership at the galaxy level and check that video out once I publish it in a few days here after this new moon. But what I want to say here is that there are some significant messages around humanity's awakening and our individual awakening that is emerging here. And going back to the Taurus new moon chart, we know that the connection to the Pleiades star cluster is significant at this time. And our guidance from our soul sisters and brothers in the Pleiades collective is helping to guide humanity forward here. And around this May timeframe, we will have significant highlights around multidimensional experiences and realizations that we may not have experienced before. We know that this progression of humanity's increased psychic abilities, other ways of communicating, telepathy, etc., is fundamentally supported through Pluto's position here in the early degrees of Aquarius, but also Neptune's position in the early degrees of Aries that links all of this support together. And Sedna's role is significant, also being a Kuiper belt object that is carrying higher consciousness that we are now ready to connect with. And you may be familiar with Sedna's myth, but if we look at the consciousness aspects of what Sedna represents, it's very much a path from shifting a victim mindset into an abundant mindset that she represents. Part of that journey is to connect with abandoned parts of ourselves, our shadow parts that may have been locked out, and bring them back in and gain a higher perspective and therefore integrate them into the whole. Sedna's essence is also about integrating a sense and connection with the physical realm, the earth natural cycle, for example, but also to honor the natural rhythms that are existing. For example, utilize that rhythm, that natural rhythm, coming closer to self-empowerment. So Sedna's role is going to be highlighted and emphasized, elevated now in the month of May. And this triple conjunction between the Sun, Uranus, and Sedna conjunct the Pleiades is a powerhouse. And I'm going to create a separate video in the membership area to really go deep with this full chart. I hope you'll join us there. Because with this rare conjunction, we are also inviting evolution, an evolution that is not separate from ourselves and the earth. We are all a part of this evolution. Our environment is part of it. We are a part of it. The universe is part of it. So the focus on the whole from now on is going to be also elevated as we move deeper into 2026 and then 2027 and beyond. What we will be faced in the external world will also encourage us to come closer to our soul self within and realize our inner abundance perspective and allowing our inner transparency to shine through, which is the unique individual and being that we are. The easier it will be to find our own way in a multitude of developments in the external world. It's going to invite us to stay even more centered, understanding who we truly are as a soul and what we bring to the table in terms of our unique, authentic expression that is grounded in inner abundance. And I feel this triple conjunction, and with Pleiades engaged here, is the starting point for a significant evolution towards oneness, wholeness, both on the inside first, but also on the outside in the physical world. And ultimately, it is our DNA that is evolving. The DNA we have in our cells is also what we can trace in our external world, of course, in the physical, but also in the universe. And that's what's so interesting, how we are in physical form, always connected to our universal network of energy. And the DNA is our embodied way of relating to that energy. Exciting. And if you're curious to explore the significant energies, I have the special limited time reading, the Stargate Blue Moon reading available. And it's available to be booked by May 31st. And after that, the booking link will be deactivated. Are you curious about your own galactic alignments? Download my Galactic Alignments reference guide. There's a link in the pinned comment and description box below. All right, let's dive into the questions for this Taurus new moon. I have 3 questions for you, and here they are. The first question is, what source of pain are you now integrating into wisdom at this time? And this is something that is not new to you. You have likely worked with some parts of yourself, shadow aspects, pains in your life, and now after a while, after some time, you've gained a higher perspective on it. And this Taurus new moon is a great time to close the loop, a great time to realize the potential of that journey and the wisdom that you've gained. So what is that? The second question is, what is something that you have learned through pain that you now can turn into advice and guidance for somebody else? What would that be? I would love to hear your advice on something for others. Feel free to share in the comments. The third question is, what messages of awakening are you receiving now at this Taurus full moon? The essence here is to guide yourself is about also making space for those messages to come through. And Cherry Close guidance here is to go gentle with yourself. Allow time for contemplation and receiving, because Cherry Close is here to hold space for us all to move into a space of wisdom at this Taurus new moon. Thank you very much for being here. I am so excited to share this Taurus new moon video with you, and also the deep dive into the triple conjunction here with Pleiades around May 22nd. And that will be our members only video associated with the Taurus new moon. So I welcome you there. Thank you for being here. I'm excited that you are here listening to this video, and welcome back. We will have another full moon, the Sagittarius full moon on May 31st, which is a blue moon. And that's very exciting. That blue moon is conjunct the Stargate, and I'm looking forward to taking a look at that one. Come visit me on my website, ulrikasullivan.com. Now is the time to expand into a more multidimensional perspective. And I welcome you to any of my offerings, either in my shop, visit the shop with online offerings, or book one-on-one reading with me on the readings page. I also offer services for businesses. Now, when we're moving into a more Aquarian way of relating, we will also have our business landscape change. And I am ready to serve you in that area. Should you own a business or be in a business that's open to energy alignment? Have a wonderful Taurus new moon, and I can't wait to be back with another video for you soon. Take care. Bye.